Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video it's going to be another thoughts on. Now just before I start getting into the videos, you can see the title of what it is. I just want to show you what I was doing. So today I was just randomly watching a thoughts on the aircraft industry video that I uploaded for probably nearly a couple of months ago now, when I was talking about all sorts of planes, like how the industry was doing, what I think is going to sort of come on top of the plane, like which Airbus or Boeing plane's going to be coming out on top. And yeah, I was watching that, and then I'm editing my fleet history right now. So yeah, I was looking at the things which are going to be which were currently that were on like airliners.net where I was searching for stuff. And it came up and said it was like United Airlines orders 100 max 10s, and I'm thinking, what? Because I thought Boeing only just pitched that, and then I search it up, and then I find on the BBC News page this. Oh my god! And I literally said on the aircraft industry video, because I was just listening to this about the Max 10, I said this. You can't keep on expanding the 737. What is it with me and fate? I have no idea. This was at the Paris Air Show, this was. And of course, Boeing are doing what I said that they do, which is keep on expanding the 737. They are expanding it as far as I go. Look at the Max 10. The Max 10 compared to the blooming 737-100. The Max 10 is even bigger. I have no idea, really, why? Just why? And in fact, they're actually saying that they've got to try and get a plane that's going between, what is it, the Max 10 and the 787 Dreamliner. Why didn't they do that before? I don't actually understand. Hang on, let me just go onto this thing for us, a second, because this is something which I just was so annoyed about. Hang on, it should be kind of, I don't know where it is, business I should think, but yeah, it is something which I am very annoyed about, but I guess it was kind of expected really. Yeah, here we go. The aircraft, the new variant of the plane can carry up to 230 passengers and already has more than 240 orders from 10 customers. Why? Okay, right, I'm actually going to put on now, this is from the BBC, so hopefully I don't get copyright for this, but yeah, I'm just going to sort of like record this guy saying this, is, I can't remember what it is, Dennis Muhlenberg, who is he? He's, I think he's a chief executive of Boeing by the sounds of it. So yeah, this is what he's saying about the 737 Max 10. How many minutes long is it? It is nearly 3 minutes long. So yeah, just listen to this, and then I will just get back to you about what he's actually saying.
Well, we see global growth in the aerospace industry. Over the next 20 years, the world needs about 41,000 new commercial airplanes. Every year, passenger traffic is growing. Year to date, we've seen passenger traffic grow about 8 to 9% compared to last year. Every year in Asia alone, we have 100 million people who fly for the first time on an airplane. So all of this portends long-term growth in the marketplace, and that's what's fueling our investments in the future and fueling our increased production.
At the bottom of the market, though, you are now facing increased competition from Irkut of Russia and Comac of China, who've both launched new jetliners in the past few weeks. How worried are you about that?
Well, it's something that we're keeping a very close eye on. The thing is, our market is a very attractive market, as I said, and that's bringing in new competitors. It's a highly interesting market. Aerospace is outpacing global GDP. So we should expect new competitors. And I think in the long run, competition makes us better.
Well, that wasn't all of it, but yeah, because most of the time he's actually talking about other stuff. But what he was saying about, well, we need 41,000 commercial airplanes in the next 20 years. That might be true, but why do you need to expand in this 737? For me, basically, as I said, this plane, in fact, it actually said that it is 66 inches longer. The slightly bigger passenger capacity means that its range is 300 nautical miles less than the 5,115 of the Max 8 and Max 9. And that is what is going to be detrimental to it. This is something that is what's it meant to be. Why did they make a bigger plane? They made a bigger plane. They want to try and have an interim aircraft to try and replace the 757 because they haven't got one ready yet. That is what it is. This is it. When it says it's going to go into service? It doesn't even say. I don't think 2020. I don't actually know. I'll actually see it, but yeah. That is just something which. That's probably what's going on, because why else would they need it? It says that they're evaluating demand for a new plane that would sit in the largest, sitting between the largest 737 variant and the 787 Dreamliner, and come into service around 2024, 2025 if it goes ahead. It's the if it goes ahead part, because Boeing, they're trying to saturate the market already with this plane, and airlines aren't going to buy a plane which is slightly less capacity than. But quite less range, and then are suddenly going, oh no, whoops, we're gonna not do that now. We're gonna go and we're just gonna go and just do this new plane now. So go buy that. They shouldn't do that. They should not be doing that, because the market's already saturated, isn't it? If they did that, the market would be saturated, and you've pretty much saturated the market before you've got the plane into service. So yes, there probably is an estimated 41,000 new commercial planes needed over the next 2 decades, but you're going to saturate a market with a plane which isn't needed. Why you don't have to waste all of your money and development on a plane, which you could have done with this new plane, which I predict will probably be called the 797 or something like that, replacing the 757, which is something which they should have been working on the second that all the development of the 787 was done. They only started thinking about this last year. They should have thought about it earlier, because airlines are now replacing them with A321s. Delta, just a few days ago, they ordered, I can't remember what they converted a bunch of orders into A321s, there's about 100 of them. American Airlines, they've got A321s now, they're replacing them. All of these major customers of yours, and United, I don't know about the United, but I think they are. Apparently they're considering using the A321LR, but they're probably not now because they just ordered the MAX 10, but that is, in fact, it's more like the A321. It is not like the A321LR. That's the real threat to the 757. Airlines are going to be buying it. It may only have 60 orders now, but soon it will not, because airlines, they are going to go to the best thing that they can find to suit their needs, and Airbus have already come up about this. They have an A321, the A321, which is about the capacity of the 757, slightly less, but not as much range. They're making it with much longer range, which a lot of airlines use the 757 for. That's half the reason why most of them are still in service, like United, Delta. They've all still got them, American. They've all still got them because they're doing transatlantic services, and A321s can't do that. So, nor can these, probably, in fact, the MAX 9s might be able to, but they're not the same as the 757, really. They really need to get this 757 replacement going, because it is something which really needs to be done if Boeing wants to try and stay competitive in this market, because as I said, Airbus, they are going to saturate the market with this. The A321LR, if this one's going to be in service 2024, 2025, the A321LR, I think is meant to go into service before the end of this decade. You're not going to get it before the A321LR comes out, Boeing. You need to think about it as a high priority. The MAX 10 should not be your high priority. The MAX 10 should be... the MAX 10, the MAX 10 shouldn't have even really existed, because there is if, and that's a very big if, and it doesn't sound like you are, if this is an aircraft which is designed to try and fill in the small gap between this new plane and the 737 MAX series, then there was almost no point. United may have 100 orders for it. It's how many did it say? It has 240 orders from 10 customers. Half of them are United Airlines. So they've basically got 140 orders from other customers. United are going to be buying the 737 just because they are a Boeing customer, but there are other airlines that will not. American Airlines, I don't know what it was. I think it was United that were considering it, but I probably don't know. This was announced at the Paris Air Show, but as I said that on that airline industry video, they don't need to keep expanding the 737. It's not going to work because of you can't really expand it more than that. I'm surprised if they even are, because apparently they're going to be still using the same LEAP 1B engines. I don't know how it's going to be managed to do that. It's going to be at the sacrifice of range, but it says Max 10 will provide customers with even more flexibility in terms of airplane range and higher seat count. The latter maybe, but not the former. Airplane range is going to be even less. The reason why, as I said, they're using the 757 is the range. It has like nearly 5,000 miles of range, I think. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's not... You can't just replace it with a plane that was designed to be in the bit below it. When the 757 came out, you were still producing the 737-200, which was nowhere near the 757. Nowhere near it. And now you've come out with this, which is the biggest 737 that's ever come about. That's what I thought on it, because Boeing need to get out the habit of expanding the 737, because they can't really go any further. And Max 11? How would they do a Max 11? They can't really expand it anymore. The engine's not powerful enough. You can't really uprate them. I mean, you might be able to, but then that'll be at the cost of range and the cost of fuel consumption. It'll be less efficient, and airlines would just choose the A321LR or whatever. They wouldn't choose this new thing. It's not going to pay off. I'm sorry. It might do, who knows, but at this point in time, I don't think it will be. These 240 orders, they've just come about because if Boeing announces a 737 variant, then they're gonna get it. It's just granted. They're not. This is not going to be good long term, I don't think. Maybe for the next few years it will saturate the market, but after that I don't expect it to be any more, because the A321LR is the real competitor. And even though I think that Airbus is better than Boeing, I'm looking at this at an objective standpoint. That the A321LR has more range and has a slightly higher capacity, which is closer to the 757's capacity than this new plane does, with even less range than the original Max series and slightly lower capacity. These airlines are probably going to be ordering it to replace the 757 in domestic routes, which is understandable, or to fill in the gap between the 757 and the 737 Max series, or just it's basically in the same place as A321, because the Max 9 was supposed to be in the same place as the A321. It's not quite, but this is something which shouldn't really have happened, in my opinion. And then put your opinion down in the comments below. But yeah, this is something which is almost unnecessary. I really think it's unnecessary. They shouldn't have had to announce this. It just says they've maintained the pressure on Airbus, the biggest version of its 737 short-haul jet. 230 passengers. Up to. That's the thing. 757s, they can carry up to, hang on, what is it? The 757 can carry up to 295 passengers. According to Wikipedia, the 757, what was it? Intended to replace the smaller 377 on short to medium haul routes, the 757 can carry 200 to 295 passengers for a maximum of 3,150 to 4,100 nautical miles, which is 5,830 to 7,590 kilometers. How is the 737 MAX 10 going to try and replace that? Because what I knew at the time, originally, when I recorded the airline industry video, aircraft industry, that was what I knew at the time about the 737 MAX 10, which wasn't properly announced yet. It was just Boeing going, oh, we could try and do this. It's like a 757 replacement. That, it's not needed, is it? I even said at the time. I said before it came out it wasn't going to work, and I'm not going to change my mind now. This is not going to work, Boeing. It may help you compete a bit better with the A321neo, which could be what you're trying to compete with, but as a 757 replacement, which is what you said it was intended to be, firstly, unless you changed your mind now. I don't know if you have. This is just unnecessary. It's not going to get to the 757 level, is it? Was it? The A321neo carrying up to 240 passengers, so it probably is, but it has a lot less range. And the A321neo has just entered service. It's been offered on the market for many more years. And it has about, I can't remember how many orders it has. It has over 1,000, I know. The A321 is going to be the winner here, simply because Boeing are just so reluctant to develop a new plane. This is it. They're just so reluctant to develop a new plane. Yes, there may be 41,000 virtual aircraft needed, but it is not going to be done with a plane which is completely unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. It's not needed. This new plane, which is going to be seating between the 737 MAX and the 787 Dreamliner, which carries about 350, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. Do that. Don't waste your time on this new MAX 10, because that's going to be sapping up all your resources. And now you can't pull out because you've already announced it to the airlines and you got 240 orders for it. What would 240 orders do for this new plane, which would seat about 300 passengers? Up to. Much more. Much more money than they would get for 240 orders from a plane that seats a maximum of 230 passengers and has less range than the original MAX series. As you can tell, I'm angry. I really am. It's not needed. It's going to be a waste of money and time, even if airlines are going to buy into it. And it just saturates the market.